The Nexus 5 and Nexus 6 may only be a year apart, but in some respects they really couldn't be more different. The most obvious discrepancy between these phones is the size. Last year's Nexus 5 is a respectable 5-inch blower, but as the name hints at, the Nexus 6 packs a mammoth 5.9-inch screen instead. Being larger than even the most established phablets makes the Nexus a lot harder to handle compared with last year's offering, particularly in one hand. As you might expect, this makes it a damn sight heavier too, weighing in at 184 grams versus the Nexus 5's relatively featherweight 130 grams. Aesthetically, the LG-made Nexus 5 also boasts the cleaner design of the two, albeit at the expense of being entirely made out of plastic. Motorola's Nexus 6 design packs in ergonomic curves and a more premium finish thanks to its metal trim. Whichever handset you prefer, you're treated to a crisp, colourful display experience, and the smaller Nexus 5 packs a full HD resolution, while the sizable Nexus 6 is one of the few phones out there with a mighty Quad HD display. As a result of the 6's AMOLED display, it has the edge if you're a media junkie, thanks to its sharper image, richer colours and darker blacks. It also boasts superior audio chops with its impressive front-facing stereo speakers, and it can be had with 64 gigs of storage versus the 5's maximum 32 gigs. On paper, the Nexus 6 packs the latest hardware with its Snapdragon 805 processor and 3 gigs of RAM, while the Nexus 5 is still running on the 2013 silicon, but in practice the older device still runs like a dream, thanks at least in part to the latest Android upgrade, version 5 Lollipop. The Nexus 6's hardware is more future-proof, and it will probably age more gracefully over the next 2 years as a result, but right now the performance gap between these two isn't so staggering that you'll really notice. When it comes to battery life, bigger is, as you might have guessed, better. The Nexus 6 has a 3220 mAh battery. The Nexus 5's 2300 mAh effort will still manage a full day of normal use, but the larger battery in the 6 will see you through to lunch the next day. Despite the older optics and smaller sensor of the Nexus 5, its optical image stabilised 8-megapixel camera is still a solid choice for snapping and video. The Nexus 6 brings a larger 13-megapixel sensor and 4K video recording into the mix as well, but image quality isn't significantly different, so if you're looking to save money, the Nexus 5 won't sell you short despite its age. The deciding factor here is, unsurprisingly, size. The Nexus 6 doesn't need to be as big as it is considering the features it offers, so unless you're after the latest and greatest, the more conservative Nexus 5 might be the smarter choice here.